Hello and welcome back to the channel. Let's talk about the pros of shooting commercials as a cinematographer. Number one, the biggest one by far, is the money. The money in commercials is really, really good. I don't know your background. I don't know your level of what you would consider really, really good. But for a day's rate working on a commercial project, you get paid pretty well for having a lot of fun. If you like problem solving, if you like creating images, it's a pretty good gig. By far, number one, the biggest upside of shooting commercials is the money. The second biggest one is that you get to travel. A lot of times you get to travel, lots. That could be a pro or a con, actually. You get to travel. That's nice. Most of the jobs, once you reach a certain level, are not going to be local. That means you're on the road, you're in new places, and generally you're not shooting in places that are ugly, right? People don't just choose places that are boring or mundane to go and shoot in. So you're going to nice places to shoot commercials, which actually, as you level up in the commercial world, the job actually gets easier. It gets easier because you have better crew around you, you've got better equipment, the people are more experienced, the production companies, the directors are more experienced, so you're already winning. You get access to better production design, better art department. Like, as your skills level up, it's almost accelerated on an exponential curve because everyone around you is also leveling up. Plus the areas, like I said before, the locations, all of those things are better. So if you like travel, well, it's a big bonus. If you don't like travel, that's a serious bummer because you're going to be on the road all the time. Very rarely, unless you live in one of the hubs. And even if you live in one of the hubs, the chances of you doing jobs, maybe 10% of your jobs will be local. So you got cash, you're traveling. Number three is you get to choose all of your projects and all of your collaborators all of the time. And you can do something really boring one week, and the next week you can do something really exciting. And then you remember, well, I didn't really like the boring thing. I like the exciting thing. So let's do more of that. Now, if you contrast that to the narrative world, you sign up for a feature, say goodbye to 6 months of your life. On week one, in pre-production, maybe you don't get along with a production designer. Maybe you don't get along with a producer. The worst thing could be you don't get along with a director. It's a nightmare, right? You just signed up for 6 months of a nightmare. Now, the positive side is, well, maybe you really love making the pictures and all of those things, and you want to change the world with your movie about flying gorillas. Whatever it is, maybe that's good for you. In the commercial space, if you don't like it, guess what? You have a problem for 2 or 3 days. You just remember the sweet, sweet cash that you're making, and then you fly home, and you never have to see those people or work with them again. You can just shadow ban them, or you can just tell them to their face that you no longer want to work with them. It's up to you. That's your personality. So that's a great thing because you have the flexibility to be able to work with a bunch of different people. It's also good at seeing a bunch of different styles. Like, some directors work in some ways where they're much less, what would be an example? Much less aggressive. Some people don't like to talk about camera or lenses. They just say, you know what, you do you make it as crazy or as wild as you want, and I'm going to talk to the actors, or I'm going to talk to the agency. And then you'll have some directors who are crazy camera intensive, who they want to hold the camera, they want to do the framing, they want to talk about the lighting. And you just get to see and sample all of these styles. So if you even if you have narrative aspirations, I would consider it obviously it's not mandatory, but I would consider it a good thing to work in the commercial space for a little bit because you get access to so many different ways of working, so many different styles. We talk about on the podcast, on the Wandering DP podcast, you'll hear people say, I really like working with this new gaffer or this new grip on whatever project because they do things a slightly different way. And once you learn that technique, you can take it forward, and that becomes one of your little tricks in your deck of cards that you can just we need a silhouette. Well, boom, here's that card that I learned on the project 2 years ago in Mexico City, that this is how we do a silhouette. And then people just think that you're smart, when in fact you just stole that from somebody else, right? The whole job of the cinematographer is taking everybody's little bag of tricks, and you just take them. Right? Because it's just information. It's just ideas. And then at the opportune time, you go, look at that. Like, you're paying me all this money and you got a problem. I'm going to fix it with this one. And then you do it and it looks great. Everyone goes, yay. That's fantastic. Very, very rarely also in the, the pros of commercial space, very rarely does somebody say something negative about the work to your face. Maybe they don't like it in the end, but very rare. Like, you want the commercial set to be a happy place. You very rarely are going to be like somebody at the monitor going like, this looks horrendous, or this is not the style that I thought. You've had so many meetings up until then, so many opportunities to divert from something that would be a bad image to a good image, or would be in line with expectations, that it's usually a pretty positive place, right? Everybody, the crew is happy. They're on a commercial. They're getting commercial day rates. Who got them the job? You got them the job. So who are they going to be really happy with? You. So you're winning, right? It's fun being a cinematographer, and it's fun doing commercials. So if that sounds like a vibe for you, I would definitely look into it.